You have arrived in New Orleans 2025. Beautiful, a great historical city with nice culture. Let's reveal the top 10 things to do in New Orleans and smash that subscribe button. At top 10, we gotta kick things off in the heart and soul of New Orleans, the legendary French Quarter. This is where the magic happens, folks. This place is like stepping into the pages of a history book, but with a shot of adrenaline. Every corner has a story to tell. Every building has a past. We're talking cobblestone streets, buildings draped in wrought iron balconies overflowing with flowers, and this vibe, man, this vibe that just screams good times. It's like the city itself is inviting you to join the party. You could spend days just getting lost in the French Quarter, and trust me, getting lost is part of the charm. Every alleyway, every side street has its own unique character. Duck down a side street and stumble upon a hidden courtyard. Grab a beignet at Café du Monde, gotta have those beignets, people. Or just soak in the energy of street performers, musicians busking on every corner. It's a sensory overload in the best way possible. And the architecture? Forget about it. It's a blend of French, Spanish, Creole, and American styles that you won't find anywhere else. You've got those iconic, colorful buildings with the cast iron balconies, gas lamps casting a warm glow at night. It's pure magic. It's like a movie set come to life. The atmosphere is electric, especially as the sun sets and the night comes alive. Don't forget to check out the shops. They're filled with unique finds that you won't see anywhere else. From voodoo paraphernalia to local art, you're bound to find a unique souvenir to take back home. It's a shopper's paradise. Jazz spills out of every doorway. People are out in the streets, the air is thick with laughter and music. It's a living, breathing celebration of life. The French Quarter is an experience, not just a place, and you gotta experience it. It's a feast for the senses, a journey through time and an adventure you'll never forget. Top 9. No trip to New Orleans is complete without a little taste of Bourbon Street. It's the place where the city's vibrant energy truly comes alive. This iconic street is the life of the party, a non-stop parade of bright lights, music spilling out from every doorway, and yeah, maybe a few too many drinks. It's where the spirit of celebration never seems to sleep. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. The sights, the sounds, the smells, they all blend together to create an unforgettable experience. Look, Bourbon Street can be a little crazy, a little wild, but that's part of its charm. It's a place where you can let your hair down and just be yourself. It's a place to let loose, have some fun, and maybe make a few questionable decisions. Hey, what happens on Bourbon Street stays on Bourbon Street, right? It's all part of the adventure. Grab a hurricane from Pat O'Brien's, try a Sazerac, that's the official cocktail of New Orleans by the way, and just go with the flow. Let the rhythm of the street guide you. You'll find everything from jazz clubs to dive bars, street performers juggling fire to tarot card readers. It's a melting pot of entertainment. But here's the thing about Bourbon Street, it's not just about the party. There's a deeper story woven into its very fabric. Take a moment, look past the neon lights and the crowds, and you'll see glimpses of the city's history. The architecture tells tales of a bygone era. Some of those buildings date back centuries, they've seen it all, from the early days of the city to the vibrant present. Just remember, pace yourself. Bourbon Street is a marathon, not a sprint. Enjoy every moment, every sight, every sound. It's an experience like no other, and don't forget to dance. Whether it's to a brass band or a street performer, let the music move you. It's all part of the Bourbon Street magic. Capture the moments, share the laughs, and make memories that will last a lifetime. Bourbon Street is more than just a destination, it's an experience that stays with you. From street artists to delicious beignets, every corner of Bourbon Street has something unique to offer. Indulge in the flavors and the creativity that make this place so special, and if you want to dive deeper, take a historic tour. Learn about the stories and legends that have shaped Bourbon Street into what it is today. As the sun sets, Bourbon Street transforms yet again. The evening ambiance is something to behold, a perfect blend of history and modern-day revelry. So here's to Bourbon Street, a place where every visit is a new adventure and every moment is a celebration. Cheers to the heartbeat of NOLA. Top 8, so you've had your fill of beignets, you've braved the madness of Bourbon Street, now it's time for a little history lesson, New Orleans style. This city is a living museum with every corner telling a story, and there's no better place to soak in the city's past than Jackson Square. Nestled in the heart of the French Quarter, this place is like a snapshot of old New Orleans. It's a blend of history, culture, and art. You've got artists displaying their work along the iron fence, street performers captivating crowds, and looming over it all, the majestic St. Louis Cathedral. Seriously, take a moment to admire that architecture. It's a masterpiece of design and craftsmanship. Now, Jackson Square has seen it all. From colonial times to modern days, it's been a witness to history. It was the site of Louisiana's transfer from Spain to France and then to the United States. It's where Andrew Jackson, the guy on the $20 bill, reviewed his troops after the Battle of New Orleans. This is a prime spot to grab a caricature, listen to some live jazz, or just people watch. The atmosphere here is electric and full of life. And if you're feeling adventurous, hop on a horse-drawn carriage ride. It's cheesy, I know, but it's a fun way to see the French Quarter. You'll get a unique perspective of the streets and stories that make this place special. Top 7 ready for a change of pace? Let's hop on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar. Those iconic green streetcars, gotta love them, and head uptown to the Garden District. Now, if the French Quarter is the heart of New Orleans, the Garden District is its sophisticated older sister. Think sprawling oak trees dripping with Spanish moss, grand antebellum mansions with those iconic columns, and manicured gardens bursting with colorful flowers, especially magnolias. Take a stroll down these quiet, tree-lined streets, and you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. You can almost picture those southern belles and gentlemen sipping sweet tea on their verandas. Make sure to check out Lafayette Cemetery No. 1. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in the city, and it's filled with those elaborate above-ground tombs. It's a little spooky, a little beautiful, and totally fascinating. And hey, all that walking will work up an appetite. Luckily, the Garden District is home to some amazing restaurants. Top 6, we can't talk about New Orleans without mentioning Mardi Gras, right? And what better way to experience the magic of Mardi Gras than by going behind the scenes at Mardi Gras World? This place is basically a giant warehouse where they build all those incredible floats you see during the parades. You can get up close and personal with these massive works of art, learn about the history of Mardi Gras, and even try on some costumes. Trust me, it's way more interesting than it sounds. You'll be blown away by the craftsmanship and the sheer scale of these floats. We're talking giant king cakes, mythical creatures, all covered in glitter and beads. Even if you're not in town for Mardi Gras World is a must-see. Top 5, I know what you're thinking. A war museum in New Orleans? Trust me on this one. The National Wutu Museum is one of the most immersive and emotionally powerful museums I've ever been to. Now you might be wondering what World War II has to do with New Orleans. Well, the city played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in building the Higgins boats, those landing craft that were essential for the D-Day invasion. This isn't just your average history museum. You'll walk through recreated battle scenes, hear first-hand accounts from veterans, and see actual artifacts from the war. Even if you're not a history buff, this museum will stay with you long after you leave. Top 4, let's take a break from the history and culture for a bit and head over to the Audubon Zoo. This place is perfect for families, animal lovers, or anyone who just wants to spend a day surrounded by nature. And this isn't your average zoo. We're talking about over 2,000 animals from around the world. One of the coolest parts of the Audubon Zoo is the Louisiana Swamp exhibit. It's like stepping into another world with alligators, black bears, and all sorts of birds. Top 3, let's slow things down a bit and experience New Orleans the way it was meant to be experienced, from the mighty Mississippi River. And there's no better way to do that than on a Steamboat Natchez cruise. This isn't just any boat ride. The Steamboat Natchez is an authentic steamboat, one of the last of its kind, and it's been cruising the Mississippi since the 1970s. As you glide along the river, you'll get a whole new perspective on the city. You'll see the French Quarter from the water, pass by Jackson Square, and get up close and personal with those massive cargo ships that make their way up and down the Mississippi. And the best part? The live jazz music. Top 2, we've done Bourbon Street, now it's time to see where the locals go to let loose. Frenchmen Street, just a stone's throw from the French Quarter, is where it's at for authentic New Orleans nightlife. Forget the neon lights and the tourist traps. Frenchmen Street is all about live music, local art, and that laid-back New Orleans vibe. This is the real deal, people. You'll find dozens of music venues packed into a few blocks, each with its own unique atmosphere. You can catch everything from traditional jazz to funk, blues, and even some rock and roll. Frenchmen Street is a feast for the senses, and it's the perfect place to experience the true spirit of New Orleans. Top 1 for our final stop, let's get our culture on at the New Orleans Museum of Art, or NOMA for short. This place is a must-visit for art lovers and anyone who appreciates beauty, history, and a little bit of everything in between. We're talking about a massive collection of art spanning centuries and cultures. You'll find European masters, American impressionists, African sculptures, Japanese prints, and even a whole section dedicated to photography. One of the coolest parts of Noma is the Sculpture Garden. It's a 5-acre outdoor space filled with sculptures from around the world. It's the perfect place to wander around, enjoy the fresh air, and maybe find some inspiration. Let's recap New Orleans 2025. So there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of the top 10 things you absolutely have to experience in New Orleans. From the history-soaked streets of the French Quarter to the vibrant music scene on Frenchmen Street, this city has something for everyone. New Orleans is a city that you could spend a lifetime exploring and still discover something new every day. Until next time, keep exploring. Peace out. Subscribe to Discover the World.